Ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter this afternoon is the incredible John Rowe. He's the founder of Airqua, water from air solutions. John, I gotta stop that again. I'm sorry. I can edit this. Airqua. I know. I had to read it. I couldn't code. I saw him look at me. I'm like, he's gonna hate me. Okay. The beauty of this is television. Ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter this afternoon is the incredible John Rowe. He's the founder of Airqua, water from air solutions. John's a visionary, passionate about decentralization of resources, population, and internet. Today, John will focus on helping solve the global drinking water shortage with his 6-stage model, scarcity to security. Ladies and gentlemen, John Rowe.
Thank you. Did you know that only 1 out of 3 people on this earth have access to safe drinking water? Did you also know that 2 out of 3 people during the year on earth have 1 month where they have water scarcity? Let that sink in for a minute. This came to me in a bit of a burst one evening when I was listening to the BBC, and I was listening to these floods absolutely ripping through Pakistan. There were villages just down, towns just complete rubble. And kids were suffering and getting sick and even dying because they couldn't, A, get something to eat, and B, couldn't get access to pure drinking water or safe drinking water, even though water was everywhere. And it spurred me into action. What can we do to help out these people? But also it hit here, because I've got 2 beautiful daughters of my own who then were 10 and 7. And it really scares me to think that either my children or their children will live in a world where they do not have access to clean water. Because it is often said that the next world war will be fought over scarce resources, none more scarce than safe drinking water. The human population is forecast by 2050 to be 10 billion people. It's currently at 8 billion people. So it's looking to roughly increase by 25%. By 2030, it is estimated that there will be a 40% shortfall of clean drinking water for people across the globe. 40% shortfall. By 2050, that's meant to be 50%. You're going to ask why. We've done all these wonderful things in the world, like we've got these. Well, these are just absolutely brilliant. They just about rule all of our lives. And the amount of technology and effort that went into that, it's become part of us. They can put rockets into the earth and put satellites everywhere, so everyone's got access to internet. But people can't get a clean glass of water. But despite all the achievements that we've made in the last 100 years, even between 2015 and 2022, the number of people with access to clean drinking water has dropped. So today, I'm going to take you through my 6-stage model from scarcity to security. Any solution that we come up with to help solve the global drinking water crisis has to be sustainable, obviously. Okay? It has to be that any village, any community, anywhere within the world can not only create water, but keep creating drinking water for their population. You've all heard the saying, you can give a person a fish, you feed them for a night. You teach them to fish, and they feed forever. So if we teach each community how to be a community and how to generate their own drinking water, giving them the right technology and giving them the right know-how, then they can be self-sufficient with their drinking water. It's got to be safe. There's a certain amount of parts per million that you have to be under to be under for the World Health Organization. If you've got 5 minutes later, I'll take you out the back and I'll show you that the water that comes out of that sink in there and in the plastic bottle that sits over there is actually above that. So even we don't have access to what you would call safe drinking water. So any solution that we come up with has to be safe. And the solutions that we have well below that standard, that World Health Organization standard. Okay? The water's free from chlorine, fluoride, all the nasty bits. Any solution has to be simple. There's no use having a solution that's going to cost billions and trillions of dollars. Why? Because only the top 1% of people in the world will be able to afford it or to implement it to start with. It has to be able to plug in, quick plug and play, into your existing infrastructure or into something like a solar array, which are readily available and easy to install. It needs to be scalable. I've just given you the stats of where we are with population growth and where our water levels are going to. There's about a 50% gap by 2050. Okay? It needs to be scalable now. We need to be able to put this into any community anywhere in the world and do it rapidly so we can start generating clean drinking water for everyone. And savings. Let's not beat around the bush. That there has to be economic advantage to anything that we do that's new. Again, there's no point us having these $2 trillion machines because only the top countries are going to be able to afford them. There needs to be an economic advantage. And the solutions that we provide are not only cheaper than bottled water, but they're cheaper than most municipal water as well, aside from being healthier. And of course, they have to be self-sufficient, which I mentioned earlier. Each community has to be able to create their own water and not be beholden to the governments or whoever's in power at that particular time or whichever water board they use. Because they can control it. They can control the price. They can control whether they get any or not. And so they must be able to create their own water over and over again. And the best way to do that is from an inexhaustible source such as humidity, powered by an inexhaustible source being the sun. Now for all of us, to allow self-sufficiency around the world, it takes, and I want you to join me on this, it takes a community mindset, okay? Rather than, oh no, I've got a bottle of water and I've got my town water, I'm cool, I'm good, okay? It takes a community mindset. And I want to take you through where I was back when I was 33 years of age. I was living in Los Angeles, living in Santa Monica, actually, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Had a great apartment, great car. I had an amazing job in the video games industry in one of the best sports departments that the world's got. I thought I had everything, at least everything that I was taught to, as an individual, you should have, and then you'll be happy, and only then you'll be happy. And to take the words of one of my heroes, and this might surprise you a little bit, Jim Carrey, who said, I had everything that I should in the world, and I was miserable. Why was I miserable? I was miserable because I was living that individual life. I wasn't helping the world. I wasn't helping my future children or grandchildren. And that's how I got onto this project. What we can do together, if you allow me, and if you'll come with me, is we can help change the world and give it clean drinking water for everyone. So we all avoid that catastrophic situation where we're in conflict and our children and grandchildren are fighting and dying. I'm John Rowe from Airqua. I'll be here for the next 2 hours if you wish to ask further questions. Thank you for your time.
Woo!